Channel. Hope everybody's doing well. So, a little update about my office setup. I was able to take my two TVs down, and I got myself an ultra-wide, LG ultra-wide 34-inch screen, which is really nice, and I'll show you a picture of it in just a second. And the reason why I did that was because I figured since the iMac screen is fairly big itself, don't really need to have two monitors on each side. I might as well just get the ultra-wide monitor, which is 2-in-1, because I can organize my work that way fairly easily. Before I had the ultra-wide monitor on my right side, it didn't do right. And plus it was on a stand and didn't do so well. So I eventually got myself a desk mount with an arm, with the articulated arm, and allowed me to change the monitor setup as well. So I'm going to experiment with that for a little while until I really nailed down the issue. As you can see, I had a pen over the TV mount was, so it's not completely done yet. So I'm going to probably put something up there on the wall anyway. I got a couple of ideas. I might put a wall decal up of my favorite games, of different of my favorite games probably, or some other things that I like. Maybe even some Apple stuff. So that should be interesting. So, and I'll just turn that on so nobody won't interrupt me while I'm doing my recording. So, with that in mind, what I decided to do was put it on my right and stuff like that, so it makes it easier. So as you can see in my picture, it looked really good, and I really like it. I'm happy with it. Now, I know it's been some time since I made my last video, so it's time to catch up a little bit here. As you know, last Monday was insane. We're getting, in the fall, they're getting iOS 15, iPadOS 15, WatchOS 8, and MacOS Monterey. So, boom. I mean, with a lot of features and stuff like that, but with everything that's going on these days with security, online security, and device security and stuff like that, they're going above and beyond to try to make our phones, iPads, and Macs as secure as possible. Make sure all of our data is local rather than up in the cloud too much. They increase the efficiency of the secure element in each of the devices, which is cool. Now with all the platforms, especially would take advantage of the new chips that are in that. The M1 chip in the iPad, iMac, and the iPad and the iMac. And there isn't an M1 chip in the iPhone yet. Which one would not be surprised if we get a device announcement during the fall. And as much as I would like to wait for it, I'll probably end up getting myself an iPhone 12 Pro Max and definitely get the new iPad, the larger size iPad Pro, so I can have some fun with it and do some videos on that and do some testing for my work with that as well. So I'm looking forward to doing that. So we got a lot of updates to each of these platforms. So I was trying to condense as much as I can about each platform. So we're going to start with iOS 15. It's already amazing and stuff, and they're taking it even further. They've also made some other recent changes with some of the things they do for accessibilities. And I wanted to share with you, I'm not even sure if I shared with you before, but Apple had a lot of new accessibility features as far as trying to get support from Apple to iOS support, device support, iOS support, iPadOS support, etc., and billing support. I had a really good experience with the signtitan.apple.com site. The nice advantage is with a lot of the relay services out there, sometimes they're not as knowledgeable about Apple stuff like they are. And now that they have a dedicated service for interpreter to work with Apple, and they have a significant amount of knowledge and terminology already on hand to be able to explain things as well. Now, and I'm hard of hearing, and as you can see, I can speak as well. Not only can I use my voice to talk with the other person on the other line, the interpreter can just sign to me, and I just use my voice, which was also a feature with a lot of our relay services as well, called the VOC, voice carryover, and that's what they have with the relay service, and it allows you to use your voice and what let the interpreter, just sign for you to tell you what the other person is saying, which is totally awesome. And time itself, it's even more awesome, and it helped recently with some of my issues with billing, trying to get them to do things right. And Apple has been awesome about that, so it took some time, but it got through, and I got it resolved, and it was really good. So, mad part for Apple coming up with signtime.apple. So, if you're deaf or hard of hearing, you need to check out signtime.apple. It's awesome. It's helpful, and you get an interpreter right away, and there's no wait time, and the interpreter knows most things about Apple, and to know where to go to. You get a direct line to the support without having to go through the machine speaking and trying to voice that. That's just very complicated. So, yeah, so that's very exciting. So, what we're going to talk about now is iOS 15. And they crammed a lot of things in iOS 15. Now, iOS 15 and the new iPadOS has a lot of similarities, with iPad having a few more features that are a little bit more pronounced than it is on the iPhone. So let's start with iOS 15, which is what I got open over here. So as we go down, there's going to be a ton of features, and I'm really excited about the update they made to FaceTime, because so you can see in a second. So let's go down the screen here and see. Now the first thing we're going to cover is FaceTime. FaceTime is introducing Share Play. Now Share Play works without FaceTime, but Share Play is awesome. They have pretty much expanded the capabilities of AirPlay, and it's absolutely unreal. So I'm really excited about that. So SharePlay allows you to share your movies with your friends, but you can all watch the same movie at the same time, and you can have conversations through FaceTime or messages, and it'll also work with your Apple TV. You can use the Apple TV to display the movie while you're still having a conversation, be it messages or FaceTime on the phone itself, without having to, have the movie and the FaceTime on there. Because some people might want to put it on the TV and have room to see everybody's faces and see the messages easier, and it's not covered with anything like that. But from what I've seen so far, even then on the iPhone itself, it's not going to be that covered, because you can just, if you look at this picture over here, and you can see the person here, and you can see the video, especially with the iPhone 12 with this big screen. Can you imagine with the iPhone 12 Mac, just even bigger? So that's nice. So anyways, you can watch movies and TV shows together, you can listen to music together, and you can also share your screen on your iPhone. So you can say, hey, this is the app I'm looking at. Hey, this is how you do that. And you can share news and stuff like that. So that you want to see. If you don't want to share the whole news, you just show point out certain thing. You don't have to send them an article or something. You say, this is what's happening. And so that's kind of interesting. Now, the Share Play is available across devices once it comes out. It's for the iPad and the Mac. So, very interesting. So I'll show you some stuff on that too. So I'm really excited about the fact that I can use the share a place to share my screen, especially with some of my work. Most of my workers have iPhone. And I used a program called WebEx for my work to remote in and help a person fix the computer, but I can also share my screen to show them what to do. But, you know, there are going to be people that are not on the Wi-Fi and they don't want to have to try to do an app to like WebEx to put it on their phone, try to figure that out and stuff like that. But if they have an iPhone, I can immediately share my screen and it's not going to be a problem because they can be out in the field with no Wi-Fi, no cellular connection for their computer, or they don't have a hotspot for their computer. I recommend not trying to do a WebEx and a cellular connection because sometimes the connection can drop if they're in a crummy area where the signal is kind of weak. But there's been improvements with cellular signals and stuff like that. Using a hotspot to do a WebEx hasn't been that bad. But as long as you're not doing anything major, let's put it that way. But if they don't have internet access for the machine, and I have an iPhone, I can immediately share my screen and it won't be that much of an issue, and they can follow along with that and do it on their own machine while watching what I'm doing and have the issue resolved. So that's kind of cool, especially for my employees that I work for the other company for, which worked with my father. All employees have iPhones, so that makes things easier for me if I have anything to explain how to use our program for work. So that's kind of cool. So I'm really excited about that. Now, for some of you who have better hearing than me, the special audio is coming to FaceTime. And it's going to be really interesting to see how much of a difference I'm going to see when it comes out for phones. But granted, I have an iPhone XR, so I probably don't have the latest speakers and the best speakers out there. Because the iPhone 11 and up probably have better speakers than the iPhone XR. So it's about hardware for sure. Which is the reason why I'm going to probably upgrade it up to 12 Pro Max soon. Because I would like to be able to use some of the hardware to have some fun with it. So I'm really looking forward to that. Now, the other big thing that I'm really excited about the changes of the FaceTime is grid view. How awesome is that? You can see this over here. Now, when there's a group of us that sign, sometimes it's floating to it's cool and all that, but sometimes it's a little annoying to try to get it to stop and move it out of the way and then let the other person sign. Not always perfect. So, with grid view, everybody can see each other all at the same time. Everything got perfect size. You'll be able to see everybody perfectly with no issues. So that's really exciting. So, yeah. And the other two other things over here that you can see is portrait mode and the new mix modes. Portrait mode is nice because then you can blur out your background so then people don't get distracted and they can see you. And without see you better, to get you to focus a little bit better and all that stuff, make communication better. Especially for people that lip read. That'll help a lot too. So they're not distracted by people walking behind them with some nonsense or like that. So we'll have to experiment with that when it comes out. Now the most interesting thing is the mic modes. You have 3 new mic modes: standard, voice isolation, and wide special. The voice isolation is going to be interesting because it might be able to help me and people like me be able to understand voices a little bit better, get used to those people's voices better, because if we do have enough FaceTime sessions with that person, we can have a phone call, and I'd be used to their voices by that time. And then, but at the same time, I like FaceTime. I like communicating face to face. It gives you that a little bit more of a connection with that person when they see your face, and it's more of a more homely conversation, even for business or in person. Both, it's better. It's better for face to face, in my opinion. So that's kind of just one really excited about that. Now, the other big thing about FaceTime is going to be FaceTime links, which is awesome because now you don't have to have 5 different apps for different people to be able to have, be able to talk to you and other people that have iOS devices. Now, when we have a FaceTime session, we want to invite somebody that does not have an iPhone or iPad or a Mac, we send them a link and they can do it on any Windows machine or any Android device or basically any device, with the exception of an Apple TV that doesn't know camera on the Apple TV, which would be kind of cool to have. So, it would really be interesting to see if people are still using the Kinect camera. They put it on the Xbox. We send them the link to that, and one of them will open up the browser on the Xbox to see if you can have a conversation that way. So you have a living room set up to, if you have families that you want to join in on the FaceTime, you can do so. So that would be kind of interesting to see how that works. So I'm going to probably have some fun messing with that once the gold version of iOS 15 comes out. I don't download the developer version of any new iOS because it's not out there yet. Not everybody does it, and I don't want to screw up myself, especially with all the work that I'm doing. So, yeah. The other thing, the next big thing for me is share with you. Share with you is awesome. You should really watch the keynote. It's really good. But anyway, share with you allows you to group everything in different apps. So like the 6 apps here that you see, the TV shows, the photos, podcasts, music, news, and Safari. Say somebody shares a link with you that got a news article or something, and you want to read it later. It can go in the news app, and it's going to be a session that says share with you. It's going to show you who shared what with you, and you can read it then and there, and it's easier to read and all that stuff. The same thing with Safari. There's going to be a session that says the other website they want to show. You go to that session, and it's going to show you what you have in your messages and who sent it to you, and you'll be able to view it in your browser, be it on a Mac, iPad, or iPhone. So that's really handy. So you don't have to hunt through your messages trying to find out, where did I see this article? Who sent me this? Boom. It's already there in the share for you section in each app that's available. Now, from what I understand from the keynote, the developers have the SDK for this share with you feature to build it into your app so they can be able to share sections like that. Other people have that app, they can go to that session that's shared with you, and they can see what links they share with you, what posts or some whatever. So I'm really interested to see what the developers do with that. So that'd be really good. And of course, there's new outfits and emoji, and there's new photo collections up there. That you could start, say you could tap the tile that shows all the photos that person shared with you. So it's going to be really interesting to see how that goes too. The next big thing is focus. They have expanded the ability of the Do Not Disturb feature, which is what I just turned on. And when you do as you can see, you can choose a focus. Right now in the picture, you can see custom, driving, fitness, gaming, and reading. And you can make your own custom focus for working, like work, or YouTube videos. When I'm making my YouTube videos, I won't get no notifications, so I'm really looking forward to doing that. That could be interesting. And then also, when you have focus on, you can type an auto reply to tell them that you are busy. You get back to them. If they need to get you right away, they can hit the little thing. Then you get notified anyway if it's an emergency and stuff like that. So that's kind of cool. You also can make settings for notifications to bypass focus if you want to get that, like messages from your parents or something that you need to, if something happens to them or something, and it just show up on the notification. You get notified on your Apple Watch, phone, iPad, Mac, whatever you. So that's kind of nice. It'll help you keep you productive. So they've redesigned the notification. They've created a notification summary, and you get it to set up in a way that you can review all the Like right here, the morning summary, all the notifications that you've had overnight, you review everything in like one big page, and you get rid of what you don't want to keep, and you review what you want to keep, or save it for later, and all that kind of stuff, which is really nice. So I'm really looking forward to that. They have updated the map to give you a little bit better 3D capabilities and a little bit more detail what each building looks like, helps you find that building without an issue, which is very cool. And also, they came up with immersive walking instructions, so as you can see, it'll recognize building, and then it'll give you a direction where you're supposed to go, where that street is, especially if you can't find a street on some of the streets in North Carolina that do not have signs that you can't find, especially when you're out in the country. So I'm really hoping they do that. But it won't be available in every city yet, but it's a work in progress, so I'm really excited about that. For people that live near subways and stuff like that, there's this new transit feature, so that's kind of cool. Now Safari has gotten itself a bit of a redesign as far as tabs and tab groups. They're going to be a little bit more efficient, like a work tab group, entertainment group, or a tab to look at everything later. If it stays in place, you don't have to like hunt for a certain link that you're looking for, and the page stays in its current place without having to refresh everything. So that's really cool. That's going to be for the Safari. That's the new tab design, and the tab group will be available on the iPad OS and Mac Monterey, so which is kind of cool. You now can enable Safari Extensions in Safari on the iPhone, which is nice, and then you can also think it across devices, so you know that it works fluidly with each Safari instance, be it Mac, iPhone, and iPad. So that's very nice. An improvement in dictation as well. So, and then they got the next big thing. They're finally putting the driver's license on the iPhone. Now it's only for certain states are participating in it. United States has not given any indication that they're joining that initiative just yet. So I'm hoping they are once it comes out, and that list will grow. There's an article out there, and I should have saved it, that is keeping track of which state is going to be participating in the iPhone driver's license, so we'll see what happens. And then they've improved the keys for the home and other things like that, for your garage, hotel, and workplace, the wallet on your phone. So that's new. That's also improved car key capabilities. There's not a whole lot of cars that can do that just yet. BMW is still the only one that I know of right now that is able to use the key. So then now we're getting into the camera now. Now in photos. Now this big thing is going to be awesome. It's live text in photos. We can finally select text to copy and put it in a note somewhere and stuff like that, instead of having to like go to a website, find it. There it is. I gotta go to the website, put it down, the dial. Now, like for example here, you go to a real estate sign and it says for sale. It's like, oh wait, there's your contact information. I gotta write it down and then dial it. No, you don't have to do that no more. Live text was recognize that text, press on it, and it's gonna bring up the either call, message, FaceTime, whatever, or add a contact. Handy. And business cards, as you can see, apparently you can copy and paste that email address into an email. Isn't that crazy? So it's getting better and better. Now you can do, and the other thing is, you don't have to take a picture to use the live text feature. You can use the camera, just turn it on, tap it, find it, copy it, paste it into a note, and you're done. So it's really nice. And it also, translation is also enabled for live text, which is pretty cool. It's available for 7 different languages at the time: English, Chinese, French, Italian, German, Portuguese, and Spanish. So, really cool. Now, an interesting thing, this visual lookup is awesome. If you take a picture and it's going to recognize certain areas, it'll try to go through a database, I'm assuming, and it's going to recognize certain landmarks, a certain plant, certain animal. This is what that is. And it's going to bring up all the information that you need. It's really cool. There's an app right out right now that my mother introduced me to that it's really interesting. I had a little bit of fun with it. It's called Picture Death. And it's on my iPhone, and I'll do another video about it too before iOS 15 comes out. And you take pictures of the plant and it finds it, or actually it scans the plant that you're looking at, and it gives you information on that plant. So it's really interesting. So, and now, but iOS 15 take that one step further. It's not just plant, it's landmark, animal, what have you. So it's going to be really fun to try to mess with that and see what it really does. So they've gotten pretty good with trying to get this going. They made some improvements to Spotlight. And so, just improve compiling and stuff like that, which is going to help you find things a little bit faster. Now, with memories in the Photos app, it's really cool. Now, when it makes memories, it will tailor your music takes to the photos, the collection of photos that you want, or you can select the track that you want to put on that memory, which is really cool. So I'm looking forward to messing with that. I don't really see that I'll use it often, but it'd be cool to do it to make some kind of thing to share with family and stuff like that. So, and now there's been some updates to the health app in making it easier to share data with your family, friends, and your doctor. Now, depending on who your doctor is, what company they're with their data management, like for example, MyShot works with different hospital systems that allow you to share your data with your doctor and stuff like that. Get data from your doctor's office, your labs and stuff, and put it in the health app so you can keep record of it and see how you're doing health-wise. Now, they came up with a new thing called Trend, which I'm really excited about because it can really help you keep track how you're doing, especially with my homework, because I got a little bit of high blood pressure, and also my blood pressure, and my exercise. I'm trying to lose a little bit of weight. So, stuff like that. So, they're doing better and better with this health stuff, and it's getting more and more accepted by a lot of doctors and stuff like that. So, I'm really excited about that. Because I'm hoping with MyShot they will update it enough so I can share my data from my Apple Watch, from my phone, with the doctor, and another device that I use my blood pressure on, and send it to my doctor, and they can keep track of how I'm doing without me having to go to the office, and it's peace of mind kind of thing. So that's really cool. And then you can also share them with your family members so they can keep track and see how you're doing. So they don't feel like if there's something wrong with your son, the wife, the aunt, your old aunt, or grandma. Well, I don't know if people want to be able to track your grandmother because she probably wouldn't like technology if they're that old. Unless part of the technology age, like 10, 15 years from now. Or 100 years from now. Even then, technology will probably be even better. Health options are going to be even better back then. So technology is always improving all the time. That's why I like it. It's always something new every day, software and hardware. So yeah, it's always fun to watch. Like I said before, they made some improvements. Apple has made some improvements in how iOS 15 handles privacy and keeping the data private, keeping the data local on the machine without it getting exposed to the web and stuff like that. They've given you options to hide your email when you sign up for stuff because it's a fake email, but it's linked to your main email. It's really stuff you have to root on through that But the biggest thing I think it is the app privacy report. It lists all of the app that is using your data, and you could control directly how much of that data can go to that company or lock them out completely. And then I also have that person that, wait a minute, these people are doing something sketchy with my data. I'm deleting the app and deleting my account, and they can just get my butt. So, yeah. So, and then I've made some additional no privacy protection to that really good. Now, Safari has made some big changes. It is now all the voice data now does not leave your device. It stays on your machine and uses machine learning to analyze your voice, make sure it understands you correctly and stuff like that. If you watch the Keynote itself, it does them back to back. It's absolutely insane. I'll tell you what's the weather. Open this report. I'm going back to back. No wait time at all. And right now, you're required to have a cellular connection or internet connection to new Safari, because sometimes it takes about a minute or less than a minute, a couple of seconds to finally answer. You have to figure out what you're saying. But now, with the hope that everything is on the machine itself rather than going to the internet, it's going to be a faster response time and a little bit better machine learning capability. So I'm really interested in seeing how that's going to come out. They have a new service, iCloud Plus. iCloud has always been useful. Now, iCloud will replace the storage plan and will get everything you already love about iCloud and new features, including iCloud Private Relay, Hide My Email, and expanded HomeKit secure video support. I'm really looking forward to messing with all of that stuff, because it's really basically doing everything they can to keep your email, your personal information as private as possible, using a relay service to make sure none of your personal information ever gets used for any of the advertising users or anything else, and nobody can, rob your data. So that's a big plus. So I'm really looking forward to that. What iCloud Private Relay does, by the way, it allows you to browse with a heck of a lot more privacy. Let me read what it says. It's a little bit better. So, iCloud Private Relay is a service that lets you connect virtually any network and browse with Safari in an even more secure and private way. It ensures that the traffic leaving the device is encrypted and uses two separate internet relays, so no one can use your IP address, location, and browsing activity to create a detailed profile about you. Now, there are pros and cons about that. For me, if you're an upstanding citizen, you shouldn't have a problem with that. That's part of my opinion. But it does make going after criminals a little bit more difficult. But I'm sure there are ways that Apple can help the police, if necessary, if they got a warrant and all that stuff, to go beyond that. But with everything going on the device itself, the Mac, the iPad, it makes it a little bit more difficult, because they're trying to keep as much of that private data out of the cloud and more on the machine. So they're really big on that. It's really nice to protect people like us, who are really upstanding citizens like yourself and me, to keep our private data, keep us protected, make sure our data doesn't get used for nefarious reasons. So, mad props for Apple for coming up with that. So, and I especially like this Hide My Email kind of thing, because then you can control how much email you can get from them if you don't want like nonsense emails from them. So, I'm looking forward to delving into that a little bit more. And I'm pretty sure once iOS 15 comes out, and everything comes out, there's going to be videos for each one by themselves. I'm not going to cram it all in one, because that'll be several hours with a video, and nobody's going to want to watch me for a couple of hours at once. So, yeah. So we'll see how that goes. And so far I've been talking for 34 minutes, so I'm hoping I can finish this up, then go on to the next one, because the next one is still going to be pretty quick. So, we'll get them a bunch of new stuff. We'll get some improvement to accessibility feature, new weather display, improve productivity in notes, and the translate gets better. We get the more new widget to add to our screens or notification area and to the pages themselves. And also, Apple ID gets an update that allows you to create recovery contact and digital legacy that allows you to designate people that can recover your data if you die, which I hate to talk about, but it's useful to have. If you want to see more about it, go to Learn More or click on All New Features if you want to see more into it in the iOS 15 part. So now, I'm going to show you how to search for the next thing, because obviously I had to type in iOS 15 preview to find the iOS page. So we're going to go to the iPad OS preview. So iOS, the iPad OS 15 preview. And you click on that and we're at iPad OS preview. Now, a lot of it is the same with iOS 15, with the exception that everything's going to be a little bit bigger and it's getting a little bit more. Multitasking has gotten a major improvement. So we're going to start with that. So, in working with multiple apps, it's gotten even more easier, and the Apple Pencil capabilities have gotten even better. So, now that we've got a new, for me, I always had a little difficulty trying to get multitasking to work on this older iPad, trying to get it to drop the sidecar and stuff like that. Split shadow, split view, and some other instances too. It makes it really difficult. But now, there's a little button right here. There's a little area here that helps you try to figure that out. Rather than going bam, bam, And there's sometimes it's like hitting this with that, so I'm really excited about that. And that especially with the iPad Pro that I'm going to eventually get with the bigger screen, it can be really interesting to see how everything works out. So, you get those three options: full screen, slide over, split through. So I'm really looking forward to seeing that. Now, when you choose the multitasking layout, you get access to your home screen where you select from the apps and choose which ones you want to work with at the same time. So this is how it looks, and then you select it, and you get your split view. It allows you to see two apps side by side. And you also have the center window. You touch and hold to bring a note or message to the center of the screen without leaving your current view. It's handy. Especially if you want to pull some data off to go into the document. And the multitasking tab shows up here too. So that's pretty cool. Now with the iPad OS only has the new shelf. So if you all open Windows for an app and quickly switch between them with the new shelf, you can add and close windows, which is pretty handy. And then the app switcher has gotten even better because you can create split view spaces in one screen with the app switcher. Create a split view by dragging one app over the another. So it makes some really big improvements with multitasking. So I'm really looking forward to messing with that. Now you have keyboard shortcut. If you have a wireless keyboard, it's gonna make things a little bit easier. So you can use the keyboard shortcut that you use on the Mac on your iPad. So very cool. The other thing is we get new widgets on the iOS 15, but the widgets are coming also will be in the iPad. They work in the current version of iOS. So they still can do that, but they take it one step further. So it's really cool. You can finally have widgets on the home screen, and you can get a larger widget size, which is nice. And the other big thing is it finally has an app library. Right now, with the current version we have an app library. iPad OS never had an app library. Now with iOS 15, it's going to have that. So that's going to be nice. So we're going to have our new version, the app library, as I said. Now the next cool thing, and this will be available with iOS 15 and the Mac and the iPad is Quick Note. You can do it, just jot down a note over any Apple screen, start a quick note with the keyboard shut from the control center or with a swipe up from the corner using the finger or Apple Pencil. You put anything in a quick note, handwriting, links, Safari, highlights, tabs, mention to a quick note so you can get important names, numbers, and ideas easily. So that's going to be nice. And that is especially if you did not want to try to, if you have a hard time using live text in Safari for any reason or live text in a video, open up the quick note, write everything down so you can access it easily and still see the picture so you can see what you're supposed to do. So I'm really excited about that. And in the notes session, it's going to be a session for quick notes only to help you organize that and to be able to see it across your devices, which is cool too. So you can highlight like what's in Safari, like I said. You can view all your quick notes and write in the notes app. So that's what it looks like right here. So that's pretty good. You can organize and notify. You can create a tag using the pound sign and the keyboard, and then find it later in the tag project and see what others have added to your shared note with the activity view and notify them with mention. To notify someone with a note, just type a person's name and it will be highlighted. So that's pretty cool. So, and obviously, SharePlay is available in FaceTime. You can do a lot of things. You can show same things, spatial audio, grid view. I especially like the fact that we can use grid view on the iPad as well because you can do a lot more people and it'll look a little bit better and easier to look at. You also have portrait modes, you also have the mix modes, and you also have the FaceTime link. So that's really cool. Message and emojis are the same. Photos are going to work the same. The focus is available here. It works here. The notifications will be the same. The new notifications summary is going to show up here. So that's cool. Safari gets a new Streamline tab bar. It looked a little bit different here. And this is what almost sort of looked like on the Mac as well. So I'll show you that in a little while. They're going to use tab group, better voice citation. They have Safari extensions. Maps is going to be updated. It's going to have the same thing that's on the iOS 15. And we will have the interactive globe. Live text, as I said before. Visual lookup as well. Improved spotlight. The new music memory feature as well. Now, the big thing is for you developers out there. Swift Playground is finally coming to the iPad. Swift Playground brings a new level of productivity to the iPad and it shows its capabilities to go even further. Learn code, build an app with Swift UI, and see your ideas come to life on the App Store. So, it's really easy. You can use a keyboard, type in the code and stuff like that. I'm really looking forward to messing with it. I'm going to eventually learn how to code a little bit better. I know how to code websites. I'm pretty well not like super expert, but I do know how to do HTML. I use what's called Sparkle on the Mac to help me build my websites when I can. I've designed my dad's and I's website for a bit them to use Sparkle, and it looked awesome. It makes everything so much easier because you can put snipper. Doesn't require a whole lot of code knowledge to make it simple. And if you do need to manage the code, you can do so easily. And the code completion, improved code completion when it helps you complete a command line to a program, so that's pretty good. And then you can be able to submit your work straight to the App Store from the iPad, which is cool because if you don't want to sit on the Mac and it's better if you go out somewhere and you're like, wait a minute, I know what the problem is with that code. Type it in, submit it while you're out on the phone if you're not on your computer, on your Mac. So the major big thing now we're getting to is universal control. This is just beyond ridiculous. All you gotta do is when it works with the new iMac, put the iPad right next to it, and that automatically links, if you got it turned on, in other words, universal control, it needs to become an actual screen. Move whatever copy you have on your iPad using the mouse, like click and drag it and put it onto a document or program or whatever on your Mac, and vice versa. And it goes to them on and then on the Mac it goes on the iPad. Now that's the kicker. But also go to your MacBook and the M1 MacBook that has the M1 chip. Have a ticket with that and go hold. You can control do virtual control with 3 devices: iPad, iMac, and a MacBook. How ridiculous is that? And you can all control it with one keyboard and mouse. Isn't that cool? I'm gonna have a lot of fun with that, I tell you. So it's gonna be kind of cool. Yeah, so cool. So, that's only if, and by the way, that's only if you have macOS Monterey on the Mac. That's the one that you're about to control for. Again, the app privacy report shows up here. We got the Safari. It's also on the iPad as well. It's had to go in the cloud more. Archive Plus is available. There's a ton of accessibility, Apple ID, Find My games, and if you want to see the full list, come here, and then you can see the list of compatible devices that will work with iOS 15. So, it's good to know. So, make sure you can look into that and check it out. Now we should probably take a look at the next mobile device, which is the Apple Watch. So we're going to search for WatchOS preview. Okay. Boom. Now, I have the Apple Watch 4. I will eventually upgrade the Apple Watch 6 because it got the major hardware that I want to have. It helps you with better health tracking. So, now let's take a look at what WatchOS offers. You're going to have portrait modes from photos from iPhones on for your face. It's going to look good. The memories will show up here, and you have better able to look at the pictures. You can share photos via messages and mail. Now, my home will work with the Apple Watch even better. So, okay, for one of your smart devices is activated, WatchOS can automatically make suggestions for others nearby. For instance, someone went to a connected doorbell, you might see options like unlocking the door or turning on the entry lights. Pretty fancy. One room, lots of views. Access all of your security cameras in the new camera room. A variety of aspect ratios are supported as two-way audio on cameras that offer it. So see a full screen views, just tap. Pretty cool. The new mission control that will allow you to make it sing for all these devices, so that's cool. Now you can use silent symbols, a place to hold everything. The wallet will have everything from home keys to ID cards, credit cards, like I always had, so that's pretty cool. Car key knows you're coming, so that's cool. It's gonna work better with your car if you have car key options on your car. You can share a digital key from your Apple Watch. So you can put the driver's license on your Apple Watch, which would be kind of small behind it. I'm not really sure if people are gonna want to look at an Apple Watch to show them driver's license. Hey, how you doing? I don't know. But kind of awkward. So just look at my iPhone. You can now correct errors in dictation using the digital crown to scroll precisely to the spot in the message you want to edit. which I'm really excited about. But I need to test it on my Apple Watch too, because when I don't want to type, and it gets warm a lot. Probably because it doesn't like my voice that much. So, who cares? So, you can edit on the fly, so that's cool. Scribble still works. You can now finally use tips. You can share songs, album playlists to messages and mail. It will have focus on here as well. The new health features for mindfulness have changed it to make some. The Breathe app has been renamed Mindfulness, which is nice. There's a new part to reflect. You can breathe even deeper. Mindful minutes. You keep track of how many minutes you've been mindful. They've increased the capability of the sleep function. Will also track the trends. They've added paddles for the workout. Tachi, which is kind of cool. The Apple Fitness Plus is getting an improvement there as well. And there's the Lost and Found, enhanced family features. Assistive Touch, which is kind of cool for as an accessibility feature. Always on display. Now worked with a lot of additional apps, including Maps, Stopwatch, and your favorite third-party apps. So that's kind of cool. The new contact apps, and then better audio controls, Stormwatch, and you can now set multiple timers at once, which is kind of cool. Now, this WatchOS 8 capability will go up to from Series 3 all the way to 6. So that's good to know. So that's WatchOS 8. How cool is that, huh? We're covering a lot, and then we're going to cover one more thing, and then we can be done with this video. We're now almost an hour away into this video. So, let's take a look at macOS Monterey. That's going to look very good. The Mac Monterey preview. Let's see what it does, huh? Let's take a look at this beautiful thing. Alright. Now, we'll work with the devices that you have, but I would suggest that you get a MacBook with the M1 chip or an iMac with the M1 chip, because you'll see some significant performance boosts and a little bit better device management. So, definitely check that out. You can connect, share, and create like never before. The FaceTime updates will also come to the macOS, which is nice. So, the share play and all that stuff. You can share your screens, especially your audio is available here in the grid view as well. Patient mode, FaceTime links, shared with you is available here. Photo connections. Now the Safari, you see it look almost the same as the iPad. The new tab bar and tab groups, and you can add touch groups in around, so that's cool. Focus is available here. That work and enable focus on one of the devices, and it's automatically set across all the devices that you have. That makes it easier to go that all across. Quick notes is available here. Pretty cool. To be in the notes app, just like on the iPhone and iPad. Activity mentions, tags. Your virtual control, single keyboard and mouse track would work seamlessly between your Mac and iPad. It doesn't even connect to more than one Mac or iPad. You switch it from the Mac to your iPad and tap on your Mac, watch the words show up on your iPad, or even drag and drop content from one Mac to another, like I said before. With no setup required, with multiple devices. So 3 devices, it only goes up to 3 devices, the iPad, not with the iPhone. And the next big thing, we can finally AirPlay to the Mac. You can put it on the display. Could be music, movie, TV show, whatever. The Mac can now become the speaker. So, which is really awesome. So, live touch is available here, visual lookup, which is interesting, because, interesting. Or more with only a photo and image that you saw online. Like, I didn't realize that I would do visual lookup on the Mac, so that's interesting. Shortcuts are now going to come to the Mac. It's going to replace Automator. Automator will still be there. It will still be available for a while, and it will integrate both, and it will make it even better. So, really looking forward to messing with that. I never really knew Shortcut. Never really had a need to, because I have my own way to get into certain places, but I need to experiment more with that. So I'm looking forward to messing with that. Just now, going to be available across devices. So you can build your own shortcut or find shortcuts that are pre-built in the shortcut gallery and put it on the machine. Now, in the maps, updates are shown here as well. The privacy, and the next big thing is, with the iPhone and iPad, there's an indicator that shows the different color dots. One for the video, the green or red, one of the color. It's recording your face or recording your voice or both. So, and it's gonna definitely be shown here. So that's cool. Mail privacy protection, iCloud Plus shows up here. So that's cool. Now, the additional updates, AirPod audio updates, low power mode, extending the MacBook battery life with low power mode, which manages the energy and sense of the process, which is good if you got a MacBook. Not necessarily with the iMac, so no worries there. Translation is good here, Apple ID, obviously that's all that there. You should really, if you want to see the full list of everything, there's so much that's on there right now, and I can't cover it all in such a short video. And I'm at 57 minutes on this video, just an hour-long video. And you will see what Macs will run MacOS Monterey. So, with so you got a MacBook Pro that's only 2015 and on, you're good. You don't really need the macOS M1 chip, but I would encourage you to get it because it's a pretty powerful machine. But I know it's only one is the MacBook, and the MacBook Pro is a small size, and you want the bigger size, and they'll eventually come, but it's gonna take some time because they gotta manage how much material they use to make the chips and stuff like that. So yeah, so we don't want to have a shortage like there is for the PCs. So that is all the new software that's coming from Apple across all of the devices: iPhone, iPad, Mac, and Apple Watch. That's pretty crazy, and the Apple TV too. And there's no preview that I saw. Let me take a look at it. I almost forgot about that. So, yeah. Then there's going to be some changes to the Apple TV as far as handling all the new stuff, I'm sure. Yeah. So check everything out yourself and make them comment down below if you want to say anything, or if you want me to cover certain ones in a little bit more detail. Just drop a comment, okay? And yeah, and I'm gonna keep having fun making my videos, doing better with Final Cut and everything else, and upgrading my hardware and all that stuff. So keep looking out for more videos. And thank you for watching. You have a good weekend and week, wherever you're at. And stay safe and healthy. Until next time.